Record 27, Side 1. Lesson number 27. The 27th lesson. Practical section. The police.
I may be mistaken, John, but it seems to me that policemen in Britain are not armed at all. Am I right?
They don't carry revolvers, if that's what you mean, but they carry a short stick called a truncheon or baton, which, when absolutely necessary, is used to disperse crowds or deal with violent offenders.
But doesn't it hurt? Don't they break people's skulls with those?
I don't think so, but it appears to be very effective on certain occasions. However, it's always considered preferable to restore order by peaceful means, by persuasion where possible.
You English are not excitable, though. I don't suppose the police are often called on to use their truncheons.
It does happen sometimes, but happily, as is usual in most countries today, where the rule of law is more potent than the rule of force, these occasions are not common.
However, the police are not used only to control violent demonstrations. They have a specific place in the community, haven't they?
I believe there's an old music hall song which says, "If you want to know the time, ask a policeman."
Yes, Pierre. Our policeman is trained primarily to prevent crime as well as to help and advise, and he must be a mine of information. But above all, he must be courteous. He is, after all, a public servant.
Yes, I've noticed how they try to help, and they have a name for being ever vigilant.
Yes, they are vigilant. But today there are insufficient police to meet all needs. They direct traffic, patrol roads and streets night and day, accept articles that have been lost and found, attend sports meetings in the open air, control crowds, generally maintaining order, and have, at the same time, to search for the criminals who commit murders and robberies and so on.
Is there only one corps? I thought there were special organizations. Some countries have one force for controlling traffic, another for keeping order, and even a third when particular services are required.
You mean Scotland Yard, I suppose? It's well known all over the world. I have read about it in detective stories.
New Scotland Yard is the headquarters of the Metropolitan Police, which, like the City of London police force, has a commissioner as its chief. Under him are various deputy commissioners, assistant commissioners, and so on.
Isn't the CID at New Scotland Yard?
CID? That's the Criminal Investigation Department. I should say it's a very important department.
You're quite right. It's a specialized department and is at the service, on request, of any police force in the country when they have difficult cases to solve.
Who controls the police in Great Britain? Is it the Queen, or Parliament, or the judges of the courts?
Most large towns and boroughs have their own police force, which is a local responsibility as far as duties and pay are concerned. The laws governing their conduct are, of course, drawn up by Parliament, and also, in the case of local laws, by counties and boroughs.
It would never do if a local police chief were to make the laws suit himself. There would be chaos.
I don't think that's likely to happen in Britain. Most people with responsibility appear to make an effort to honor their obligations, both moral and financial.
The local police chief in some small borough, or the commissioner of the metropolitan police, is not free to apply the law as he thinks. The Home Secretary is the responsible minister for the police service in England and Wales, and the Secretary of State for Scotland in that country. In Northern Ireland, the police force is controlled by an Inspector General who comes under the Minister for Home Affairs.
What happens when a policeman makes a mistake and himself breaks the law? Can he ignore the law himself, even to a slight degree?
No, absolutely no. If a policeman makes a mistake in law, he himself is responsible, as he is held to be the independent holder of a public office. He must act according to his knowledge of the law.
There isn't much fun in that. It seems to require a very careful and intelligent person to do the job properly.
It certainly does.
Side 2, grammatical section. The adverb. The adverb modifies or adds to the meaning of verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, just as adjectives do with nouns. Modifying a verb: he studied hard. Modifying an adjective: his brother is quite clever. Modifying another adverb: he speaks English quite well. There are different kinds of adverbs, and these, classified according to the particular function of each, may be divided as follows into 1. Manner, 2. Place, 3. Time, 4. Frequency, 5. Degree, 6. Interrogative, 7. Relative. Let us consider them separately. Adverbs of manner explain the way or manner in which a thing is done. For example, quickly, slowly, energetically, roughly, etc. The adverbs in this category, as well as some adverbs of degree, are very often formed by adding ly to the corresponding adjective. But there are two important exceptions to this. A. Adjectives ending in ue drop the e before adding ly. True, truly. B. Adjectives ending in le preceded by a consonant drop the le before adding ly. Noble, nobly. Remarkable, remarkably. Adjectives ending in ly do not have an adverbial form. The word must be changed, or a phrase used, as in the following examples. Adjective, silly, foolish. Adverb, foolishly, in a silly way. Friendly, amicably, in a friendly way. In some cases, the adverb and adjective are exactly the same as in fast, much, little, high, near, hard, late, though the last four also have a form in ly, having a slightly different meaning. This cloth is highly recommendable. He nearly fell. They hardly ever speak to us. The adverb of place tells us where the action is done and comes after the direct object or after the adverb of manner when there is one. Examples: there, here, above, below, within, back, up. The boys are staying here. We were going quietly along the road. Are they coming back before 7 o'clock? The adverb of time informs us when the action took place and is placed after the adverb of place when this is present. Here are some adverbs of time along with one or two sentences. Then, now, yesterday, immediately, soon, still. Once upon a time. They came home yesterday. Have you seen him yet? It is, however, not uncommon to find the adverb of time placed at the beginning of the sentence. Tomorrow I am going to see my friends in the country. Then we came away because of the crowd. The adverbs of frequency answer the question how often, and usually have a special position in the sentence. Here are some of the commonest, along with sentences illustrating the position. Always, often, seldom, hardly, never, scarcely, frequently, rarely. They always pay attention to what I say. I must often repeat what I say. He hardly ever hears me. The children seldom want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Note the following examples. A. They are often at the cinema on Monday. B. They often go to the cinema on Monday. C. They have often been to the cinema. In sentence A, the frequency adverb comes after the simple tense of the verb to be, while in the second, also a simple tense sentence, we find it between the subject and the verb. In the third example, we have a compound tense, and the frequency adverb comes after the auxiliary. Remember these points as they are important. It is also important to remember that the negative or quasi-negative adverbs like never, scarcely, hardly are used without not. Two negatives make a positive in English. If the phrase is only negative, there is no need for the auxiliary do. I do not go there in the morning. I never go there in the morning. But, do you never go there in the morning? Adverbs of degree tell to what extent a state or action has reached. Examples: to, nearly, quite, completely, very, thoroughly, enormously, all. Very good, thoroughly enjoyable, all right. The interrogative adverbs are where, when, how, why, and are placed at the beginning of the question. Where have you been? How are your friends studying? Why do the children study after supper? When did John leave? Relative adverbs join clauses together to form sentences, acting partly as adverbs, partly as conjunctions. This is the place where we saw him. These people know how it happened. I know when he will come. He couldn't explain why he was late.